All right, traders, this is going to be a very important lesson loaded with information that's going to help make you money within this market. I hope you've been playing these put options because they've been extremely lucrative returns. With that being said, I'm going to be explaining to you on why it looks like SPY is now still micro bearish. I'm going to be helping you in terms of how to identify when we could see this recovery micro bull rally, right? What to look for in terms of potential bottoms and confirmations to be buying. I'm also going to be going over leap options. We have some phenomenal leap option opportunities for you. These are passive income swing trades on the options where you can hold them and scale into them, and these should work out phenomenal. I'm going to be going over those two plays, and I'm also going to be recapping the trades. I am going to show you how to trade the best setups at the best prices. I'm going to be teaching you this strategy, this gap close reversal to fill the gap below strategy, this one simple gap trading strategy that we are consistently using within the stock market to make money. There was over 5 phenomenal opportunities with this strategy just today alone. In terms of my trades, I had 2 small wins. Those 2 small wins that I was not patient with, I made 10% profit on both of those contracts. They both went up over 100%. And then I had 1 loss. And of course, on that 1 loss, I was sized in pretty decent. And it was a 20% loss on the contracts. My portfolio is barely green on the day. I'm barely up. I'm only up like 1% on the day. If I were to let those wins run, I would be up over 10% on the day. With that being said, I'm going to be teaching you these strategies. I'm telling you, this strategy that I have for you, you're going to see there was 5 opportunities to trade this strategy. And it worked on every single one of them. I'm going to be going over the mistakes I've been making as well. One thing I really have to work on is exiting is on my exits. And I'm going to be going over that towards the end of this video. But guys, I'm telling you, this video is going to help change and improve your trading drastically. Make sure you stay to the end. So first things first, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be going over the SPY very quickly. And we're mainly going to be talking about the micro price action. So in terms of when is SPY going to bottom for the micro? When is it going to start to see that, recovery, that micro bullish recovery? We got a lot of gaps to fill above. Obviously, for the macro, SPY is extremely bearish. This is going much, much lower this year, in my opinion. So with that being said, if we look at the daily chart, stocks are still looking very, very micro bearish. And let me show you some examples here. Let's pull up some charts. I'm going to show you in comparison on what is most likely going to continue to happen with SPY. So these are following SPY. Nvidia has heavy support right here. It cracks the support 3 days in a row. It turns that support into resistance, forming the lower highs. Today it breaks down, hitting that new recent low right here in comparison to May 9th, right? And then Nvidia also has gaps to fill below right here at 149, right here at 154. There's not much support. So Nvidia is looking very, very bearish. Netflix is another example. Netflix cracked support just like Nvidia. It went lower. It formed lower highs. Today's day where it cracked those previous lows right here. Extremely bearish. These all look like they want to continue to go down. In terms of the SPY, what I want to bring awareness to is, this is turning all key critical levels, that 405, remember the 404 to 405 52-week lows? It bounced off it 4 times. The macro finally kicked in. For 3 days in a row now, it's turned 405 into resistance, which was a big upside potential support level where it ripped back up to fill those gaps. 3 days in a row, it's turned it into resistance. You have new lower highs at 404. It just keeps pushing for lower lows. You could see right here, it just keeps going lower. It bottomed at 396, it bottomed at 395s, now it bottomed at 391. So in terms of where we're heading for the micro, I think we're heading lower. And the market has a strong history as of lately to sell off on Fridays. And we are approaching Friday in just 2 days now. So things are looking very bearish for the SPY. Things are looking extremely bearish here for the micro and for the macro. Another thing I want to point out is in terms of key levels for the SPY, we're currently on track to fill this gap. There's a gap to fill on the SPY right here at $389.70. There's a gap to fill at $389.70. It looks like it's going to be able to fill it by Friday. With that being said, We got to see how it reacts towards that key gap fill level. That's going to be a very interesting level to see how SPY reacts at 389, where it could have a little short-term micro gap close reversals. Keep in mind, in terms of current market conditions, the gap close reversal strategy has been working best on the put side when there's a gap to fill below at key resistance on the stock. In terms of gap close reversals on the long side, what I've been noticing is it's been working, just not as well. The wins have been much smaller. The market overall has been blowing through all gaps, but there has been quick little micro scalps for a couple minutes where you can make a nice little return, but it's not like this amazing setup, this amazing return like it would normally be. So what I'm noticing is, in terms of current market conditions, gap close reversals longs are just small little micro wins, and then overall they just blast through the level right now because the market conditions are just so bearish. And like I've been showing you guys, I've been focused on just the put side, just that gap close reversal to fill the gap below strategy. I taught it several times within Visa stock last week, and just look at the opportunities. So in terms of the SPY, what I want you to understand is we're currently micro bearish. To see that trend reversal, we have to bottom at 389 and we have to push above a 400. To see that micro bullish rally, we have to break above 400, turn into support, and really push above 405. My current theory is we're not going to see the micro recovery bullish rally until next week. That's my theory right now. It's not going to occur until next week. I think we still have some more micro downside at the moment. And this, what's really, made me like this right now is this triple top, these lower highs, this breakdown. You got the gap to fill below, and it turned 405, which was a big upside support level, 404, 405 into resistance now for 3 days, which is extremely bearish. And you have several stocks that have already cracked massive support, like Macy's was one of them. There's so many other ones. Macy's had massive support. There was a gap to fill below here at 2145. It cracked today. It looks like SPY is going to be following a lot of these stocks that are just getting brutally damaged. And, a lot of these stocks are pushing for way below their 52-week lows, some at 5-year lows, some at all-time lows. SPY literally just went under 52-week lows. So within time, the macro is very, very bearish, and it looks like the macro is going to continue to kick in on the micro price action because previous support is now resistance for 3 days in a row. So that's where I stand on the SPY. The macro is just extremely bearish. So yeah, in terms of key levels to look for, if you are going to look to play puts tomorrow, 300 and I would say the low 400s would be the key resistance level to look for. In terms of how do you determine micro bullish rally, you have to wait till SPY closes green. I do believe once SPY can finally close green, we can see a potential nice little micro rally, especially if we can bottom at that 389 level. But as of now, things are extremely bearish, and we are on track to fill the gap at 389. We'll see how it reacts there. I'm not too interested in day trading the SPY. I've been focusing on other setups. So that's my analysis on the SPY. Now, let's get into leap options. This is going to help make you some money, man. I would highly recommend, to look into these. I got 2 leap options for you, and I think both of these are going to be phenomenal trading opportunities. And in terms of leaps, I trade these differently than how I day trade. So these I kind of scale into, I kind of hold them, and I risk more. On leaps, I'll typically risk 50%, right? So if I'm down 50% on a contract, that's my max risk. In terms of returns, I like to aim for 100% plus on the leaps, but typically if I'm just up, I'll just look to get out for the smaller win. So the way I kind of trade leaps is it's not up 100%, the best risk to return ratio. It's more of accuracy and being right, but I do like to scale in and average my cost down. And when I do average my cost down and when I do scale in, I do it only on big moves against me. So for me, that's like 30%. If it goes 30% against me and I get a confirmation that it's going to start to go in my favor, I'll look to average in, right? Just know on leap options, it's extremely hard to get the perfect entry and to time them perfectly. But overall, if you are patient with them, right, they should work out in your favor the vast majority of the times. I find leap options fairly easy if you know how to scale in properly and if you're patient. So these are the 2 opportunities I have for you for some leap options. After this, we're going to be recapping the trades. We'll be going over some micro setups as well. So MRK and K stock. I think both of these stocks are going to crash within time. In terms of K stock, like I said, the one I would go with is the June 17th. This is more than enough time. And a 72.5 strike. If you want to play it riskier, You can go out of the money at $70. I really wouldn't recommend it. But those are the two strikes that I would look into: 72.5, 70 strike, and June 17th, right? And whatever you want to put in, I would not put in the entire thing right now. I would save some in case it goes 30% against you, because if it does go against us for the micro, I do believe it's going to be a great opportunity to add for the macro. The macro should be in our favor. We have plenty of time. The contracts are cheap. They should print. You got to be extremely patient. As these stock are chopping towards the highs, they could see some little micro rips, and the volume is light. So it's going to require maximum patience. The strategy on these, and you could use this strategy for day trading, for swing trade. I'm going to be teaching this strategy towards day trading here soon. The strategy on these is going to be a gap close reversal to fill the gap below, right? So the more advanced version is within Trader Society, where I really teach it step by step. You also get to watch me trade these live every single day at market open. There's a lot more to it. If you want to check it out, it's the first link in the description. But basically what we're doing is we're finding gaps, because when a gap fills, it can have a reversal. And we use a certain confirmation to identify if that stock is going to have a reversal when the gap fills. It's just the gaps we're looking for are overreactions and key resistance levels in terms of the put side, right? You can use this both ways. So there's a gap to fill at 74.7 on K stock. It's got big micro and macro downside potential, right? That's exactly what we're looking for. And it had an overreaction. This quickly ran from 59 to 74. So all the confirmations triggered. We got the bearish confirmation on the daily chart. This was the confirmation to actually enter those leaps yesterday. I wasn't watching it yesterday, but we got all the confirmations, right? And in terms of K-Stock and how it looks right now, we're on the backside of the move. This is the backside of the move. Previous lows were reacting as the highs, as resistance today multiple times. It's trying to break down. The make it or break it level for this stock is 71.50. Once it cracks 71.50, there's no support with a gap to fill below at 70.23. We do also have a gap to fill below at 60, 70, 85. That would be the more macro side of the move, but you do want to lock in some profits at 70.23, right? So we got the bearish confirmation on the daily. The stock filled the gap. It had a reversal. You could see as soon as it filled the gap, 2 days in a row, it reacted as resistance. Today's the day where it turned the previous day's low into resistance, forming those lower highs. We're on the backside. It's on track to crash. Yes, for the short term, we could see a micro pop. It's definitely possible. We have a small gap to fill above right here at 74, 78. I personally think if it ripped there, it'd be a great opportunity to add more. So for the short term, we could see a micro pop. The main reason why is it's lacking the volume. And with a big buy, this can rip at any time, right? But if you hold it and if you're patient with it, it should work in your favor, as we have two gaps to fill below. So the strategy is the best one. Gap, close reversal. The stock fills the gap. It has a reversal 2 days in a row. It forms the bearish candlestick on the daily. That's our confirmation in terms of swing trading leaps. And it goes back down to fill these gaps that are waiting to fill below. History shows this is a phenomenal A1 opportunity. History does also show before big pullbacks, especially $68, we can see some micro rips. So expect some chop. Overall, we're due for a pullback to 70.20. 68, it's going to be chop, some micro rips, not right away. Take some profits at 70.20. If you want to aim for the bigger move, leave some on for 60.80. Either way, the puts should print regardless. MRK is the same exact pattern. And remember, these are the best setups. I'm pointing you in the right direction. While these stocks are selling off towards these lows, when this micro rally hits, all these people buying and holding puts for swings are going to get absolutely destroyed. But I personally don't think I will get destroyed, because K stock, this is another reason why I like it, is detached from the market. It is not following the market. MRK is doing its own thing as well. In a sense, at times it does follow the market. I do believe K is more detached from the market than MRK, but both of these are leading you in the right direction. So MRK, we got all-time highs at 92.64. You could see the highest gap to fill above with big downside micro and macro potential. I always love entering trades where the micro and the macro is even in my favor. Even if I'm trading for the micro, I like to have the macro in my favor. Even if I'm trading for the macro, I like to have the micro in my favor. But if you're trading for the macro, you don't necessarily need the macro in your favor if you understand sizing and position sizing. But that's one thing I like doing. So in terms of MRK, we have a gap fill at $90.54. As you can see, today is the day where it filled the gap. And I did alert this as a trade. We had members alerting this as well using the strategy. You could see right here, I had a phenomenal opportunity in MRK. I sold it way too soon. I'm going to be going over that towards the end of this video. But I did alert right here the MRK put options when this was towards the top, towards the high of day. At 10:54 a.m., I bought these at 78 cents. At the peak, they went to 140. So literally 100% return in terms of my average. I was averaging down at 67 cents. And then I sold for a 12% win, which got my portfolio from red to green on the day. But we'll go over that towards later. In terms of confirmations, where I think we can currently be at on this stock is we're due for some sort of pullback. We really are. You can see right here, the wick is forming. The wick is forming. It starts to drop. The wick is forming right here. So we should start to pull back. What I want you to understand about this one is the make it or break it level is going to be $89. Once we can crack, let me just double check this here on the 1 minute chart. Yeah, so once we can really crack this $89 to $88.60 zone, we're going to sell off hard to $87.30 to $87. Not much support down there. So that's what needs to happen. We need to crack that. That could be a nice key breakdown play. But overall, I feel like if you hold it, it'll work out. In terms of confidence, though, I am more confident in K. So you can just trade K in terms of the macro leaps, or you can try both. I would size bigger on K, though. I'm a lot more confident on K, but MRK looks good as well, right? So in terms of expiration on this one, what I would do is I would play it super safe. I would go with I would go with a $90 or an 87.5 strike. I would go with one of those. You can do both if you want. And then in terms of like expirations, what I would look into is, let me just double check real quick. I just want to study the option chain here real quick. Let's see. Okay, so what I would do is I would go with, in terms of these, the same expiration, June 17th. I think those would do well as well. So June 17th expiration on Mark and June 17th expiration on K. The way I trade options is, for those of you who ask me what contracts do I typically go with, at the money. So at the money is the closest strike to the stock price. So if K is at like 72.50, I'll go with the closest strike to the stock price, which is right here, 72.50, right? At the money. Those are the contracts that I like going with. I like going with at the money contracts. So yeah, that's that. So those are the strategies. Those are the plays. In terms of MRK, we do have a gap to fill below at $84 as well. So that's going to take time. Now, look at how well this strategy worked. I used it 3 times today. It technically worked 3 times. The one time I lost on it, I didn't take the small profit. I was up 18% on K. Then it went against me. I was day trading it. I told you guys the swing trade is going to be a lot better. So I'll make up for that with my swing trade on it. But we had some great updates. We had some great ideas. It was an overall great live trading stream today with education value. And in terms of my watch list, you can see we had a really good one. It was VERU. Where is it? Once VERU cracks 950, this was at 8:20 a.m. Once it cracks 950, it'll get crushed and puts will print. Watch closely. Very bearish on VERU for a crack of 950 to 8.50. So in terms of this one, and I'm going to show you how many times this worked today. VERU had a gap to fill at 942. The high was 970. It had a gap close reversal. It came straight back down to fill the gap below from 779. Roblox, this one I played. I didn't play VERU because I was focused on K at the time. I would have played it if I was focused on VERU, but I was focused on K at the time, and I don't like diversifying in terms of my day trading. Roblox, gap to fill at 2781. The high of day was 2837. It came crashing back down towards yesterday's lows. Gap close reversal strategy worked once again. The difference between the two is VERU had a gap to fill below and Roblox did not. The ones with the gaps to fill below are better. And K has gaps to fill below as well for leaps. Mark has a gap to fill below for leaps as well. Billy was another one. There was a gap to fill right here at 2085. The high is 2094. It sells off, gets absolutely crushed to 1885, right? Let me show you another one. The other one was MRK. MRK, there was a gap to fill at 90.54. It fills the gap. It has the reversal. It starts coming back down. All of those put opportunities, even K in the morning. I was up 18% on K. When it went against me and went green, I cut my losses, played it safe in terms of my day trade. If you're swing trading, it's completely fine to hold. In terms of K, there was a gap to fill above right here at 72.93. I bought those puts. When it hit 72.85, it dropped to 72.10. There was opportunity within 3 to 4 minutes to lock in profits for a 15% return. And that occurred twice today. That occurred twice where you could have made 10 to 18% on those put options. So the entries are absolutely phenomenal. The strategy is going to get you the best entry. It's a set the trend strategy. It's a trend reversal, gap close reversal strategy. All those puts that I just shared with you, except for K, were up 100%. If you were to get in at the money with the closest expiration towards the gap close reversal price. And there was several stocks that had that set up, right? And I did also alert within the chat, right? So MRK was a great opportunity. Those went up over 100%. I sold way too soon. And then Roblox, I sold for 9% way too soon. I bought Roblox puts at 10:33 a.m. As you could see, as soon as I got in, look at this, man, 10:33 a.m. It was right here. Here's where I got in, 10:33 a.m. Literally towards the top, it gets absolutely crushed. The puts went up over 100%. MRK puts, I was averaging and getting in right here when it was in the 90.50s live on stream. Those puts went up 100%, right? And then, of course, the one I was patient with, K-Stock, I was up. I bought these puts right here when it was at like 27.85. I bought the puts. I was up 18% towards the lows. It rips against me. I hold through the pain. And then it rips against me right here. I hold through the pain. And then I'm up 15% right here. It rips against me. I get out. I cut the loss for minus 25% on the contracts. And then it goes right back and I would have been up 10%. And then right here, it rips again, would have been up 10% again. That's just absolutely insane. That's why big wins are so frustrating, because if I were to hold this as a day trade the whole day and not take profits, I would have been up 10% 4 times on the day. Could have just locked in profits, got back in, locked in profits, got back in. Like, guys, I'm telling you, man, in terms of one thing that's just been very frustrating for me and it's just really starting to mess with me a little bit. When I try my best to aim for a big win, and I get out, it's like when I try my best to aim for a big win, the trade usually isn't the big win. It's like it turns green to red against me, and I'll be up like 10, 20, 30%, and then it just turns against me because I'm being patient and aiming for the big win. That's what happened to me on K-Stock today. And then when I aim for the small win, like I took the small win on Roblox, I took the small win on MRK, and a lot of that was due to my frustration. I was so frustrated with K-Stock because I normally just aim for the smaller win. And I was up twice, 15% on this. And I was so pissed off when I sold it for a 25% loss because I was up twice, 15% on it. And I would normally lock in the profits. And then I enter Roblox and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to play it safe, take some size to make up for that loss, and, just aim for a smaller win. I get it on Roblox. I make 9%. The puts go up 100%. I get in on Mark, and then the puts go up 100%. I get out for like 10%. So anyways, let's talk strategy. I'm going to help you out in this sense. So what we're looking for is in terms of like opportunities. This is a good example. VERU, key support right here at 960. Big downside potential with a gap to fill below. As you can see, it starts to sell off hard. It's slowly going down due to the lack of volume. It bottoms at 760. If you see this stock have a massive gap up with a gap to fill above, there's a gap to fill above right here at 942. There's a little gap to fill at 942 right here, right? And it's got big downside potential. The way I look at this situation is I look at this as, oh, it's ripping back to previous support. If it reacts as a resistance, fills this gap, starts breaking out, it's going to have a gap close reversal, and it's going to start to come back down to the gap that's waiting to fill below right here. So in terms of bearish confirmations, I showed you on the daily the bearish confirmations. It was simply ripping up and gapping up to previous support that recently had a massive downfall. right? That happens all the time. If it reacts as a resistance, it's bearish play for the puts. There was also a gap to fill in the 940s. It fills the gap. And pre-market was the dead giveaway. Once this sells off, this 950 level, like I mentioned in the watch list, we had people play this. They did very well. As soon as it cracks 950, there's no support until 850. And if 850 cracks, there's a gap to fill below at 780. That's very big potential, guys. Just study the contracts. Study the contracts at the money strike. See how much they went up from these phenomenal entries, these phenomenal trade ideas. There was so much opportunity today, right? So in terms of confirmation to get in, where were the confirmations to be buying puts on this? Right here. When it starts breaking down, forming lower highs, these ovals were all confirmations to be buying puts. Once it cracks 950, reacts to resistance, forms lower highs, right? Ride it back down to fill the gap below. In terms of targets, how do you know where to lock in profits? The pre-market chart says $8.50, right? Key support, big upside, take some profit there. If you're aiming for the bigger win, if 850 cracks like it did instantly and reacted as a resistance level right here twice, then it's going to fill the gap at 780s, which is your next target, right? So that's where you know where to lock in profits. If 950 cracks, then the next support level is at 850. That's a dollar profit margin. Each stock offers a different profit margin. You got to find the ones that have the big key levels that are held up on thin air, like these gap close reversals to fill the gap below strategy. Now, let's talk about Roblox. I love this setup. So if we take a look at Roblox right here, you can visually see this is an overreaction. We have a gap to fill above at $27.81. It rips back up to 2190s, doubling bottom right here, rips up to fills the gap. And we know this is an overreaction where the stock can turn that previous support into resistance, like I showed you with a VERU. So in terms of Roblox, your previous support is right here at 2950. And you can also say the key gap fill support level right here at 2781. We have that gap to fill above. This is a major overreaction. This is such a prime key setup. Another thing is when Roblox goes to 94.88, set that price alert. The puts should print phenomenally. Wait for the backside. You got to wait for the bearish confirmations. You got to wait for the backside. You can't just get in when the gap fills, right? So with that being said, the initial reaction was it bounced. It had a little breakout. It tried to turn into support. Right here, it formed some lower highs and it cracked. This is the gap level it cracked. Once it cracks, that's bearish. You can start getting in. And then once it forms the lower highs, this is where I got in. When it formed the lower highs, and then on this breakdown, I played it safe, took my 10% return on this breakdown. And you could see it just worked out absolutely phenomenally. In terms of targets, if you look at the chart, the overall target on this would be $25 to $26. In terms of price targets, focus on the 5-minute chart. Use the 1-minute chart, but focus on the daily and the 5-minute chart for your overall price targets. But you can see right here, the overall price target on this would have been $25.50 to $26, right? I sold way too soon when it was at $26.90. So a lot of that, like I said, really had to do with what happened on K. But guys, I'm telling you, man, big wins are tough, man. I really just like focusing on situations where the win rate is high. And if you understand how risk management and position sizing works, you don't need these big wins, man. As long as you're cutting your losses quickly and you have the proper risk management and sizing strategy with these options, I'm telling you, it's just the numbers game, man. You don't even have to be right the vast majority of the time with these options. If you understand the sizing and percentages, how this game really works with the percentiles of the contract, like we're talking like 30, 40, 50% wins and getting stopped out for a 15, 20% win, right? The wins are so much bigger, even though it's considered a small win because these contracts are going up like 150, 200% sometimes, but it's still a fairly decent sized win. And if you know how to also size effectively where the losses don't even affect you, it's just phenomenal, especially if you're cutting losses quickly, it can scale it drastically. So that was the play on Roblox. And then MRK, in terms of MRK, we had a gap to fill right here at $90. We had members alerting this one on stream. Big shout out to them as well. $90.54, right? We had the gap to fill. As soon as it filled the gap, just like Roblox, it had this little micro breakout, little micro breakout, little micro breakout. And you could see, just like that pattern on Roblox, it just chopped at the highs right here. Once it went under, that was the backside. New lower highs, new lower highs. Gravestone doji at resistance 12:23 p.m. Look at my ads, man. I was adding heavy into this, man. I was adding heavy into mark puts. I bought them at 10:54 a.m. for 78 cents. And then I started adding. I added heavy at 11:29 at 78 cents. I added more at 72 cents. And my last ad was at 12:10 p.m. for 67 cents. My average on those was at like 73 cents, something like that. My last ad was right around here. When you see this gravestone doji with that big volume bar at key resistance, it is going to sell off hard. And then boom, it starts to sell off. Gravestone doji comes again. Boom, it starts to sell off. Most bearish trend reversal confirmation, the best confirmation you can ask for. And then in terms of price targets, if you look at the 5-minute chart, the overall support zone was at $89. And if $89 cracks, it falls off a cliff. So that's how you get your overall price targets. Just this move from 90.50, where we were buying the puts, to $89, those puts went up nearly 100%. And then Billy was a phenomenal play. Billy was just like Roblox. It gapped up just like VERU. You could see right here, Billy had some previous support, just like VERU, same exact setup, just like Roblox. But this is literally identical to VERU. Previous support, big upside potential. You can see there was a gap to fill above at $20.85. I recently traded this one, made a 16% return on the puts. As soon as it fills the gap, it starts to sell off. It forms resistance. The backside truly triggers when the lower highs form. It closes the gap, it sells off, it bounces, lower highs. And then look, the doji, man, the gravestone doji. I'm telling you, man, that's the best indicator confirmation you can use with these gap close reversals on the put side. If it hits the key resistance level, forms these gravestone dojis at key resistance at lower highs, it's going to absolutely sell off, man. So that was the play on Billy. And then in terms of, well, how do you know where to lock in profits? Right here, you got key support at 1950s, key level to be locking in profits towards 1950s to 1980s on that, make a nice dollar profit per share. The puts will be up like 30% plus. And then you have a gap to fill below at 1916 for the bigger move. Always lock in some profits if you are aiming for the bigger move. And if you are aiming for the bigger move, your position size should be lighter than it normally is. That's one thing I also want to keep in mind. If you're aiming for a bigger win, your position size should be lighter than it normally is. AVT, this got crushed. If you watch my videos previous days, I told you AVT was going to sell off. Now it's selling off. It just triggered dark blue on the squeeze indicator. It's most likely going to continue to sell off. We got a gap to fill below. I'm keeping this on my radar for put options. It's not the most volatile or liquid stock though. That's the biggest disadvantage. And the spreads are wide. Overall, though, this is going to sell off, and this is a nice little pattern right here. We got the dark blue triggered on the squeeze. We got the bearish confirmations, multiple days failing to break out. It's a very, very bearish chart, and the stock always tops out towards these all-time highs, and it's extremely bearish. So another thing is, and I would do this super light size, you can look into some leap options for AVT June 17th. Put options, 48 to 47 strike. You can look into those. Just make sure you get good fills get a good fill towards the middle on those. TBT, I like that setup though. I like that setup. Just know disadvantages are, lack of liquidity, and there's better plays. I think K will be better, but it just shows you how much opportunity there truly is in this market. TBT sold off. I recently made a video about this one. Look at this. We had a nice gap close reversal on TBT today. Very nice gap close reversal. Filled the gap, went back to previous day's lows, reacted as resistance, double top, sells off, lower highs, absolutely bearish, man. Those puts printed like crazy today. They printed nicely, 90 to 80% on those. And that's really going to do it, man. So you could see, man, just how well these strategies have been working. So in terms of what's really on my micro radar right now, I mainly got to wait and see. Something's most likely going to come around tomorrow at market open. In terms of micro, I'm mainly sitting on the sidelines right now. It's just I don't want to chase and get stuck in like some sort of bull rally. If you study what I've been doing, I've been focusing on stocks that are detached from SPY. Roblox was detached from SPY, classic gap close reversal. So you guys see the opportunities that come around in the morning. Like these videos, I mean, they're great. It's just there's so much more opportunities, man. And that's where Trader Society is really going to help benefit you as well. Look at this opportunity on Roblox. Overreaction, gap to fill above, has the reversal. That was a 100% gainer. Look at the opportunity on Mark that came around, filled the gap above, just like Roblox, sold off hard. The opportunity on VERU. All these stocks I mentioned were not in the video yesterday because they were new stocks that came around in the pre-market. And I prepare members within the pre-market with the written watch list and the live trading streams at open. I will start posting as well, some videos in terms of in the morning. Once in a while, I'll start posting more videos in the morning because there's just so much opportunity, guys, that comes around in the morning. You have to understand this is a nightly watch list. There's opportunity here as well. The main opportunities that I've shared with you that I'm seeing right now in terms of nightly are the leap options. Those are the main ones I got for you now. But in terms of like micro opportunities, typically in the morning, not every single day, but very good opportunities come around with these gappers. Just look at Roblox, nice gap up, gap close reversal to fill the gap below. Look at VRU, nice gap up, gap close reversal to fill the gap below. Look at MRK, it had the morning rip, gap close reversal. That's 3 phenomenal opportunities. Look at Billy, that's 4 opportunities, gap close reversal to fill the gap below. I got people in at the best entries for Roblox and Mark. I also got them in at phenomenal entries if they followed the watch list on VERU. We had one guy make 10K just on VERU alone. We had some members have a really phenomenal day, man. I'm glad they did, man, because today was not easy for me. There was so much great opportunity. I just wasn't patient enough, man, and the big wins can be extremely tough. Lee recently made a $10,000 profit on the EOG put option trade. That was from a video I posted days ago. He utilized that trade idea back to back. His account is approaching 100K. He's up over 26K on the day. Alex is killing it, 23K profit. This guy's absolutely killing it as well. Big shout out to him. And today we had some great results from members as well. Harry has been crushing it recently, giving out great charts, great analysis within the chat. 53% return on Roblox puts. Big shout out to Alvin. 3% return on the portfolio, 13% return on the portfolio. Casper's making that comeback. 67% return on the Mark put options. You could see so many people have traded much better than me, which is great. I love to see it, man. And this guy's absolutely crushing it, man. 175% return, 23% return on 2 different portfolios, absolutely killing it. 19% return. Andy T has been on a win streak, man. Very nicely done. 50% profit return. So yeah, they're absolutely crushing it, man. Big shout out to them. So if you do want to be a part of Trader Society, I'm telling you guys, we're going to have new opportunities a couple days a week come around in the pre-market. So in terms of Trader Society, it's the first link down below in the description. It's a one-time fee. You get lifetime access to everything that's included. Watch the short video, read everything that's on the page. If it sounds good, if you feel like it's the right fit for you, if you're looking for that community, it trades the best setups at the best prices, this is going to be the best place for you. I'm telling you, we got a phenomenal moderator in here. We just created a new channel dedicated to SPY and stock market analysis only. And then we got the trading floor, which is dedicated to stocks only. And I'm telling you, we have some great members in here who can help assist you. It's not just me. There's plenty of people in here who are giving great value, great trade ideas, and helping members out along the way. So in terms of some things that are included, you get to watch me trade live every single day, live at market open. You also get access to the video lesson library where you learn all the gap trading strategies that we're using to consistently make money within the stock market. You also get access to, inside the video lesson library, psychology, mindset training, risk management, position sizing. You also get access to the chat room, all of the channels within the chat room. You can add us as a friend on Discord, contact us one-on-one via direct message. You also get access to the real-time trade alerts, the pre-market watch list, the stock analysis, the price alerts, the real-time updates. There is so much more to it. The indicators, the platforms. In terms of my trading style, it is all displayed within this program. It's set up in a very strategic routine where we prepare you to trade the best setups at the best prices. You get to watch me trade the best setups at the best prices live, directly on stream when my price alerts trigger. And then you also get the recaps and you get all the stock analysis, all the real-time updates. If you have any questions, we will get back to you as fast as possible. Best place to ask me a question is live on stream. With that being said, that's going to wrap it up. You do also get access to the recordings of every single live stream I do. You can go back and watch them. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow live at Market Open. Thank you so much for tuning into this video and investing into your education. If you do want to join, now is the time to get in. It's going to be that first link down below in the description. Like I said, for a limited time only. Like I said, this is the lowest it's ever going to be priced at. Within time, prices will go up due to the results that members have been getting, and we want to be quality over quantity focused. We don't want the whole world in on this. And it's just with that being said, that's going to wrap up today's video. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will see you guys tomorrow live at Market Open.